James, you're getting a start. How does it feel in 150th anniversary of Irish rugby? Big game.
Oh, it's always nice to start, but just to be a part of the team is really, it's always special. I guess when you get to that sort of time in your career, like every game's, it's just really special to be able to wear that jersey, because you just don't know how many you got left in you. So we know we're up for a big game. It's obviously the 150th anniversary for the Irish boys, and what better occasion to do it in the Viva Stadium.
And Tom, obviously, amazing series for you. It was a wee bit quieter against Scotland. What are you hoping to do against Ireland? Slightly better conditions than it was in Scotland.
Yeah, that'd be nice. It was pretty cold in Scotland. Get my hands on the football a little bit more. Get to sort of explore what the game's got to offer. Whether that's broken field play, a little bit of set start stuff for us. We probably let ourselves down with our handling on the weekend and around the breakdown. Got a little bit messy, turned a little ball over. So it's certainly been a talking point of the fundamentals that we want to be a bit sharper on this weekend at Aviva.
There's also discipline, like penalties, missed tackles. The standards have been so high. What do you put that down to in Scotland, where there were those missed tackles and the penalty count was quite high?
Yeah, could sort of scratch about and sort of try to fluff an answer for you, but we just weren't good enough. We sort of had to look in the mirror and I sort of just touched on the fundamentals of our game, in and around our handling it, breakdown, how quick we can arrive to support our ball carrier, all that sort of stuff. Sounds bland, a little bit boring to the viewer, but it's sort of what gives the opportunity to guys to, cross the line off the back of the stuff I sort of just touched on, yeah.
Slips, obviously, you're facing Cian Healy, who's also a bit of a milestone man for Ireland. Have you shared a schooner with him before after the games, or are you hoping to catch them after?
The old fella, he's still going, it's really good to see. Look, he's a good character. He's been around for a very long time for the Ireland team, and he's one of those players that's well respected across the world. So it's a mighty effort. He's obviously taken over as the most capped Irish player this weekend, and I'm sure it's going to be a really special night for him and his family. I'll be looking out for him after the game to share that beer for sure.
You can obviously relate to the journey he's been on, like playing well into your 30s in the front row. What sort of rehab do you have to do week on week, just to keep yourself at that test level?
Fair bit.
WD-40.
Yeah, a few oil changes here and there, but I think you just got to be smart around how you prepare. What shape you're in throughout the year is really important to be able to perform at your best, and I think longevity is probably more about being smart around your prep, your training, and obviously the recovery, but you also need to push at times too. You got to push through certain injuries or niggles, and I'm sure Hill's done plenty of that over his long career. So
Has Joe been able to share any insights with you around where to go after Ireland this weekend?
He's been pretty excited for this week, hasn't he? Joe, he's obviously had a great history here in Ireland. He loves the place, and so do we as players. We absolutely love playing here. We always find the fans really good, but I think Joe's been, off the back of what Tom said, probably more looking at us off the back of our Scotland game. We felt like we didn't play a good game last week, and we probably let ourselves down. So, without looking too far into the Ireland way of playing the game, we needed to fix our own backyard first. So that's been the priority this week. But there's certainly been a few remarks throughout the week, which makes it interesting. But Joe's really excited, and so are we.
Slips, have you had a chance with Tom as well to actually get out in Dublin and just see there is a buzz about this game, and obviously Joe coming back? Have you guys, did you take any of that in, or are you a bit too far out here?
Joe's like a superstar here. That's what I feel like. Wherever we go, the one thing I've noticed, he gets a lot of support. Like, there's a genuine love for the man in Ireland, and goes to show what sort of coach and what sort of person he is. So it's it's going to be a special game for all of us involved, and especially the Irish boys as well. So we do feel the buzz. We were out in town yesterday, and there was a lot of talk around the game, and let's be honest, like every time you get to play at Aviva, it's special. So this one might be a little bit more special.
You're a bit out of time, and as Jonathan was saying, he's not worried about a recurrence of the Dublin 6, which I believe you are a survivor of, but wasn't involved.
I need to clarify, I wasn't part of the Dublin 6, but no, it's been all hard work and training this week.
What have you liked about working with Joe over the last year, and is there something you could both maybe technically pinpoint that he's been particularly beneficial with your own game?
I think if I tried to pinpoint one, I'll try to give it maybe just a broader answer. I really feel that the team performance has grown, which has allowed individuals to sort of showcase what they can bring to a team sport. I think we've seen some of the best football. If I just think of our 9 and 10 combination for the most part of this year, the two of them have seen a lot of consistency in their performances off the back of confidence shown in them by all the coaching staff, obviously led by Joe. But I feel that the discipline he's brought to the team in the way that we want to play the game, the way that we prepare for games, I think we're starting to see a lot of the fruits of that. Guys sort of coming into the test season, within and around that 10 to 15 test mark. Obviously going through a 15 test season now, creeping into the 30 tests, starting to sort of become that more mature player. Even for myself in particular in that instance. Starting to sort of really find their feet under the desk. He absolutely has brought a group that was, we've had a number of debutants obviously throughout the season. That could have gone one or two ways. Quite an open group, but he's really brought us really, really close together, in particular on a northern tour, that we've seen a lot of fun in our time here. I think he was absolutely the right man for the job, so we're really pleased with how the first 8 months of his tenure's gone.
Tom, was it a shock at first with Joe, because we've huge experience of him here, we've seen him on the training pitch pulling players out, the exacting level of detail, just the sheer intensity of the man on the pitch. Was it a shock initially for you to kind of, right, this guy is maybe a bit different than what we've seen before?
I don't think it was a shock. I think something a lot of you guys are familiar with. Max Jorgensen might have tipped a couple of us Brumbies guys up to the style of coach that Joe was, but it was something that a lot of us were sort of craving for, and knew that it was going to be for the best of the team, and to absolutely get the best out of the individuals too. So he didn't go full throttle at the start. I'll be honest. He used to sort of apologise in advance if he might have chipped a guy here or there at training, but now he doesn't apologise. You just know it's he's absolutely keeping you accountable for the best part of the team.
Do you guys see a change in the wider public in Australia? Because we hear a lot about the fight rugby union has with all the sports, NRL, AFL. Do you see a change, kind of an uptake in the interest again, that people think the Wallabies are coming back to where they were before? I absolutely feel, especially being over here, that the support from home has been monumental. But that also goes hand in hand just with winning performances and performances that we as a team are proud of, and obviously that goes as far back as the supporter base as well. So we know that destiny is sort of in our own hands, to be fair. Winning breeds sort of support, I feel like last week was obviously a step backwards a little bit from how happy we were with our performance, but the support even over here in Ireland, as Slip said in town yesterday, a lot of gold jerseys getting around, which is awesome to see from a support perspective.
And Tom and Slip, so I wonder, can you tell us a bit about Mac, your memories of him back in Canberra, and also are you going to get around him for a few Guinnesses after?
Yeah, I spent a little bit more time. I wasn't packing scrums when Mac and I were doing backs units in Canberra together, but was obviously quickly one of the cult heroes over here for a good reason. Plays a brand of football that's entertaining to watch. Was always that skillful, talented player. When he was in Canberra, was probably just behind
a fair few talented guys in the position that he was sort of a 10-15 coming through the Brumbies ranks, and was one of the most favoured guys in the locker room, and it's awesome to see how quickly he sort of adapted to the Irish lifestyle and Irish style of play. I was fortunate to play in the last time we were here in Aviva, and we were the opposing number, so we did an awesome jersey exchange, which one of the ones I hold really close to my heart, just as an ex-teammate. But him and Slips have got some good stories that won't be repeated. So.
I just, from my point of view, it's just good to see him grow up. He was like a genuine Canberra boy, so he to come all the way to Ireland and do as well as he's done, it's just phenomenal to watch. As a mate, like even back at Brums, he used to get his parents to pick him up every day from training and make his lunch and stuff like that. So hopefully he's got that sorted now.
I was just wondering as well, like you were talking about walking around town, and I think back home in Australia, you guys can go around Coogee or wherever you're doing your rehab. Not a lot of guys maybe will come up to you. How do you guys find that in Europe in terms of just the attention on you? Do you enjoy it, or is it something that you even notice?
I still think it's important. Like we do get so much support from home. Like obviously there's a lot of sports and it's spoken about a lot. Like we're a very competitive market in the sporting industry in Australia, and the Wallabies is a very strong brand in that. We've obviously had difficulties over the last sort of past few years, and that obviously hurts the support a little bit, but deep down there's a lot of support for us, and we do feel it, especially walking around Coogee, walking around Brisbane. Like we've had some massive turnouts at stadiums at home this year, and it was great and really helped us along. So we're not going to sit here and think we don't have any support at home, because we know we do.
Jim, what about last one? James, what about Joe? I was going to say in terms of like, short of putting a statue on O'Connell Street here, he's revered just above.
He's got a statue. Has he?
Nah, he's joking.
No.
Anyway, no. But how has he gone down with the Aussie public? You're saying you're getting a lot of support, you guys as players. Is the jury still out on Joe? Do you feel that there's an expectation that he can do in terms of project rebuild for you guys what he did for Ireland?
Well, I think the proof is in the pudding at the moment. From where we've come from last year in particular, like that was a pretty tough year for us. And the growth in the team, but in the squad in general, has been astronomical. Like it's we've missed a few games and a few close results. But I think overall, like our trajectory has been on the upward trend for performances itself. So I think Joe's definitely our man, and I can confidently say most of the rugby public back home are very confident that Joe's the man to take us forward.
Last one, I think. Just when you mentioned that challenging year last year, like how worried were you about the future for Wallabies rugby at that point?
I wouldn't say I was worried. I was probably more disappointed. It was probably more accurate way of feeling for me. Just the, I guess in 2022 we lost to Ireland at Aviva by 1 point or something like that, and then for last year we, probably weren't in the same playing field as Ireland. So, it's chalk and cheese really. It's I'm never worried about where this game is in Australia. It's definitely can be better, and that's what we're striving to do. So, I think we've started that shift, and it's up to us as a playing group and a wider squad to keep improving and keep finding those performances and building our game up.